Those who are familiar with the NEP 2020 documents, both the documents which came of 350 pages and the policy of 70 pages, there are 4 tangible outcomes expected based on the recommendation of National Education Policy. The first is that transformational reforms at a school level to make India a knowledge superpower. Indian higher education system will become second to none by 2040 in providing the quality education to all the learners irrespective of their social and economical background. The third is that gross enrollment ratio, which is around 30% at present, will reach 50% by 2035. And the most important expectation from the higher education landscape is that the graduates of higher education will become global citizens, and the global citizen is also defined in the policy itself. It is built on 4 pillars: access, equity, quality, accountability, and affordability. UGC, looking into these recommendations and the pillars, as told in the inaugural session, also have identified 10 disciplines or the themes under which all the initiatives have been launched, starting from multidisciplinary education to internationalization, covering all in between 8 disciplines. All 52 initiatives have been launched under the broader domain which are mentioned here. This I thought, because recently the ASHE report 23-24 has come, just to give you an update that things have started moving at the national level. 1,278 universities responded on the ASHE portal, and you can see the percentages, whether it's a starting of National Higher Education Qualification Framework, NCRF, 4-year undergraduate program, R&D cells, IDP, MOUs, SWAM, and many other initiatives which you will see in subsequent slide. The idea to show the percentage is to tell you that out of 1,278 universities at that point of time in 23-24, today we have 1,396 universities all put together. So the beginning is made in terms of participation. In the apprenticeship and internship, you are seeing a 0% because the guidelines came in 25. So the universities which reported, the idea is that look at these numbers. Some of the subsequent slides will talk about these numbers visa numbers in the Bengal, just to give you the status and in terms of the analysis of gaps where we need to work. These are some of the MOUs we were talking about in the previous session about the Industry Connect. Idea is that we can connect with these universities to look at how they have been able to come to this position, so that we will build on their ecosystem, their best practices, and the efforts which they initially made, and we will be able to make the learnings based on their efforts. So today, 1,278 universities put together have got research collaboration MOUs, they have got research projects, industry sponsor projects, many MOUs with the industry ecosystem. All put together as background, UGC initiatives when you look at, so I have divided in 3-4 broad categories: institution-centric, faculty-centric, student-centric, to give you still a broader and a better picture of understanding. In terms of learner and the teacher-centric initiative, National Credit Framework, people are talking about how we can integrate the disciplines. This NCRF actually tells that 50% of the credit should come in the discipline in which the degree is going to be awarded. Rest 50%, 12 credits each, can have n number of minors to cover the remaining 50% for the award of degree. And we have also issued the SOPs for the operationalizing curriculum and credit framework for both undergraduate and postgraduate education, which talks about how the credit distribution will take place. NHQF is something we should look at because the NCRF defines the labels. One of the subsequent slides talks about those labels, that what is the competency set which is required at level 4, level 4.5, level 5 is defined by the National Higher Education Qualification Framework. Multi-entry, multi-exit has been created if a student, due to some unforeseen, uncontrollable situations, has to leave the institution or the program, can come back within 7 years with 4-year undergraduate. I have a separate slide on that. Academic Bank of Credit, the numbers at national level and numbers West Bengal. Common University Test, we all are familiar. This is a student ambassadors for academic reforms to promote the NEP implementation in the institution, in the city and in the region, and 2 degrees simultaneously is also enabled. JN portal is the all central universities appointments are taking place through a common portal, so that you have to create your dashboard once and then you can see the vacancies and application in single go. Malviya Mission Teacher Training Program, 8 themes out of those 10 broader disciplines under NEP, and 3 sub-themes under those 8 themes. So 24 different themes connecting with the NEP implementation. Then minimum standard of instructions. This is something, because we also need to know what is happening in the higher education space. Unless and until we know what is happening, then the second part is to understand what is happening, and third is to implement what we have understood. In terms of skill development, some of the important initiatives which have been launched is the full-fledged apprenticeship embedded degree program, embedding short-term skill modules in the academia through utilization of National Credit Framework. We have also issued a guideline on sustainable and vibrant university-industry linkage, which talks about how it can be made sustainable, internship research schemes, professor of practice, and the establishment of R&D cells. In terms of technology, we have got distance learning, online learning, SWAM, framework for course examination. Earlier there used to be an issue in terms of if somebody has taken a courses on SWAM and the examination schedule was not in alignment with the university schedule. So now the universities are permitted that the student can complete the course on SWAM, but the university can conduct the examination as a semester examination for the same course. Then institutional centric initiative, as told by the Honorable Chair Sir also, that institutional development plan which talks about various dimensions of institutional growth with the implementable plan, action plan, and the timelines there. How to convert single stream HEI to multidisciplinary. Then for the private university, if they want to open up off-campus centers, student grievance cell, biannual admissions. Earlier it was only in the distance education. Now in all modes of education, institutions can have the admissions twice a year. In terms of Indian knowledge system and internationalization, how to incorporate knowledge system into the curriculum, books in regional languages, empanelment of artists in 3 categories, Param Guru, Param Shreshti Guru, and Guru. We can have them as a part of our education ecosystem, setting up of foreign university campuses in India, and UGC is also into granting equivalence of foreign qualifications right from school to higher education space. Some of the other initiatives are in terms of award of PhD degrees, where we have looked at the net score also, setting up off campuses, appointment of ombudsman, recognition of prior learning, accelerated and extended degree program. This is something which is specially created for higher education ecospace, that fast learners can finish the degree at a shorter interval by attaining the desired credits. Next slide talks about, because this is important and we want universities to take use of this. As per the guidelines, this is applicable at undergraduate level. Student has to have the same curriculum which is for all the regular students. It can be, they have to take a decision in the first year itself that they want to follow an accelerated route or the extended route. Once that is done, then the credit earned will be added in the semesters which they will follow in the subsequent time. What is permissible in case of a 3-year undergraduate program, 1 semester can be advanced. So the 6-semester program can be finished in 5 semesters. In case of an 8-semester program, it can be 7 semesters or the 7.5 semesters. Extension of the duration is 1 year in both the cases, that in case of a learner due to some regions. So you can have more number of courses in a semester, you can have the less number of courses in the semester. This enablement is already made through these guidelines. 4-year undergraduate program, as the 4 year says, that now we have 2 different duration of the undergraduate degrees, 3 years duration and 4 years duration. 4-year duration has, in terms of those who are familiar with the credit framework, 12 credits explicitly for the research components. You can have an honors degree or honors with research degree. Delhi University has also started a track, instead of honors with research and the entrepreneurship. So you can look at the 4th year. Some of the universities have actually got the 4 year for the apprenticeship. So these are various models which are being evolved to implement the 4-year undergraduate program. The advantage of why students should do a 4-year undergraduate program, that after completion of 4-year undergraduate, they are eligible to take admission in 1-year PG program. You must have heard the recent announcements by Delhi University also. So there is an opportunity after completing 4-year undergraduate program to do a 1-year PG program. Accordingly, NCRF has got the labels, which I'll show in the subsequent slides. They are also eligible for direct admission to the PhD program. So they have 2 pathways created for a 4-year undergraduate program. One is admission into 1-year PG, another is direct admission to PhD with a rider there that they need to have 7.75% or the equivalent grade point if the university has a grade point average to take admission in the PhD program. These are some of the zonal conferences which UGC has been conducting from time to time. We have conducted in IIMs, IITs and premier institutions to sensitize. We do zone-wise, sensitize them about the initiatives, look at the best practices and look at the implementation part of the initiative. As told in the previous session also, UGC has created a portal to capture the NEP implementation initiative through UTSAH, undertaking transformative strategies and actions. So this is a link there. Each institution gets a dashboard. The important of UTSAH portal where you all should be part of, all UGC announcements, all UGC regulations, all UGC guidelines which are issued from time to time are available at single portal. So you don't have to navigate many portals to look at what is happening in the regulatory space. So all are available on this portal. This is the dashboard which you see as an institution. So it gives you complete insight in terms of what you are doing in terms of entering data and what others are doing. There are 15 points which we look at. We have captured those 15 points. Total there are 32. Right now we are looking at 15 which are of prioritized areas in terms of multi-entry, multi-exit. Then in terms of adoption or compliance with NHQF and NCRF. Then professor of practice, apprenticeship embedded degree program, courses in Indian languages. Many of you may be aware that you can not only teach in the conventional language or the regional language. UGC has also created a window that you teach in English, but you can conduct exam in regional language. So both flexibilities are built with the higher education space. These are some of the initiatives, data from the Bengal. As I said, those who have uploaded the information. So 11 universities have started 4-year undergraduate program, 10 universities have complied with NCRF, 7 have got NHQF, 11 has got multi-entry and multi-exit institutions enablement, and embedding Indian knowledge systems are 8 higher education in the state of West Bengal. Similarly, these are the numbers for other 11 other initiatives which have been captured on the UTSAH portal. These are colleges and universities put together. These are the numbers which are for the universities. So if you look at this slide, it talks about 2 important things from the higher education institution perspective. One is uploading what they are doing in the NEP implementation. Another is what they are doing on the ABC portal. Academic Bank of Credit is very important, and I'm happy that with the government initiative and the UGC initiative in last 2-3 years, numbers have gone up significantly in terms of uploading of records on the Academic Bank of Credit portal. And there are 3 important components. One is creation of APAR IDs for the student. Second is uploading of the records on the ABC portal. And the third is mapping the record with the APAR IDs. And you will see the numbers in the subsequent slides. So these are the numbers in terms of, so if you look at the state universities, only 23 have come on the UTSAH portal out of 38. This data is only for the West Bengal, and 36 have come on the ABC portal. So actually 100% should come on the ABC portal, because it's not only the credit transfer, but there is another plan which is in place, is that validation of the academic credentials through the DigiLocker or the ABC platform. So this is very important that the student did not go to the university again, or the employer need not go to the university to find out the credibility or the credentials. These are the numbers where the West Bengal universities have fared on those 15 initiatives. So if you look at, these are the numbers just to give you an idea how, so beginning is made, but still there's a large gap in terms of the expected destination. These are the numbers. This is professor of practice. All India level in the January, we have 1809 professor of practice from 339 higher education institutions. However, government of, from this side, we have 10 higher education institutions, 32 professor of practice. So state universities have got, 1 university has got 2 professor of practice, 5 private universities have got 14 professor of practice, Deemed universities, only 2 have got 13 professor of practice, and the colleges, 3 professor of practice from 2. Just to give you an idea how the other same set of universities at national level are faring in this initiative. So this is a comparative statement. Then academic bank of credit, as I said, that this is very important from an institution perspective, that even just for your information, now your technology driven result declaration system can be integrated directly with the ABC. We have created that enabling system that you will get an API interface, that once you declare the result, you are actually declaring on the ABC portal, so you don't have to upload the student records. And if you are not going on ABC portal, and if you are using the Samarth portal, then Samarth portal has now also got integrated with the ABC portal. The idea is the current practice of declaring results locally at university portal, then uploading records on the ABC portal, all these processes will be eliminated. Not only time, but the authenticity also gets eliminated there in terms of non-authentic records. So you please connect with ABC and us also, and start declaring results from their portals. So your one effort will have everything on the ABC portal for all purposes. These are the numbers. By design, I have kept a look at West Bengal. You have got 22 lakhs approximately APAR IDs created, 1 crore record. These records, some are credit driven records, some are their transcripts, and some are their degree certificates which goes on the net. But look at the last column, only 50% mapping is done. So if you upload the record and if you don't map with the student, actually it doesn't have any value as far as the portal is concerned. So my record and your record should be distinctly marked by the institution. So we are requesting ABC nodal officer also from in the higher education institutions, in order to take this in a very focused manner, 4-way support system has been created requesting DigiLocker. That system is like this. Either you can call them over telephone, then or you can have a tracking system which that this system can be enabled by the institution or by the student. So you can raise a token and they will work on that token and get back to you. They have also started, we are requesting them, so now what they are doing, from 2 to 5, 3 to 4 days a week, you will have the link available on the DigiLocker site and ABC site, and then you simply log in on any particular day and raise your queries, and those queries will be answered immediately. Then the NEP Sardi, this scheme is actually very liked by many ministries, and if you see the government of India's various programs, 2024 general election, and many of you may be familiar, Mera Pehla Vote Desh Ke Liye, many of the young students which you were seeing were the Sardi students. The idea is it gives the visibility to Sardi, it gives the visibility to the institution, and they are used in many academic activities, and we have the year-long calendar for Sardis to carry out activities based on the academic calendar, and we capture the activities information on through Google Form on our Ussah portal. As we speak, we have 2,607 Sardis from 415 higher education institutions. We permit even 12 Sardi per institution, but look at the numbers of West Bengal. You need to look at total 13 institutions out of even leaving colleges apart. Only 13 higher education institutions have come, and the 17 Sardis have reported so far. So please see, this also is a very important activity, because the student leads your initiative, and if they are able to make good, they make nataks, they make videos, they make reels, we upload those through social media handles of UGC, which has n number of followers. So your name, institution name, and Sardi name, it all gets a lot of credibility there. This is a scheme about writing books in the regional languages, augmenting study materials in Indian language, and 13 nodal universities have been identified for Bharatiya Bhasha. And for Bangla Bhasha, we have got the set of these 10 universities which are working in the Bangla language transcript, headed by the nodal university as Ramakrishna Mission. Then embedding skilling in academia. As I said, that apprenticeship embedded degree program is launched on 24th March 25. The four objective it has: the enhance the employability, outcome-based learning, industry connect, and bridge the skill gap. The eligibility is the NAC or the NRF, any NAC score, any NRF rank. It also has an enabling feature that once the NAC makes an announcement of basic accreditation, and then that also will be taken care here. We have also shared these guidelines with the state governments and the state higher education councils, and we are hand-holding 30 universities to take these forward. How this can be implemented: it is applicable for all undergraduate program. You can convert the existing program into AEDP program. All these students are eligible as a 4-year students to take direct admission in PG and PhD program. It has also enabled the stipend through both the windows. Either you go through the NATS and NAPS portal of the ministry, apprenticeship training schemes postal, where they get the stipend from their side, or there is a MOU between industry and the higher education institution where they decide the stipend to be given to the student. And it has a rider that if a regulator has a provision for apprenticeship embedded degree program, then the regulatory provision of that particular regulator will apply. In a 3-year undergraduate program, we have said that apprenticeship minimum duration should be 1 semester. So for a 3-year program, it is 1 semester, and the maximum in both the cases, 3 or 4 years, is the 50% of the duration. We have made only one condition: first semester student should be in the university, and the last semester student should be in the industry. What happens in between semester is between the university and the industry as per the apprenticeship plan. NCRF talks about 40 credits every year for 2 semesters. So for a 1 semester apprenticeship, there will be 20 credits assignment. I'll also share how that assessment will take place. This is the apprenticeship plan. As I said, that how the apprenticeship will be enabled, when it will start, who will be, what will be the curriculum in terms of the student who are following AEDP line, and who will monitor that, what they are expected to do in the industry. One example I'll share without taking name. For example, a BBA program has an apprenticeship, and in the 2nd semester the courses pertains to finance, marketing and HR. Then the students, those who are going in the apprenticeship in the 2nd year, are actually working in these 3 departments. So they are actually practicing what their colleagues are actually studying in the class. So this is the way AEDP in some of the universities have been initiated. Assessment, there is a flexibility. Please look at the second 3-level assessment. In case of an apprenticeship, 30 to 40% component of assessment will come from the industry. Remaining 30 to 40% will come from the faculty who will monitor the student in the industry. So larger assessment, actually, if you look at 40-40, 80% goes to the industry and the faculty who is working in the industry for the monitoring the assessments, 20% with the HEI. Important is that apprenticeship score or the assessment grade should come in the same semester, so that the semester grade point average actually includes this as the student makes progression to the next semester. One clarification we issued, because some of the universities said that either they are only into PG education, or they don't have their own undergraduate department, they are working through autonomous and affiliated colleges. So we said even that apprenticeship is also enabled, that university can operationalize AEDP through affiliated and autonomous colleges. However, the ownership of apprenticeship in case of affiliated and autonomous shall always remain with the university. We also said that operationalization in terms of company selection, operation in terms of the faculty mentor, industry support, university should always be in thick of actions. It should not be left to the autonomous or affiliated colleges. They should also, while working on with the company and the autonomous college, they should look at the appropriateness and adequacy of faculty and the infrastructure resources. It will be so for us, university is the single point of contact. So it is left to them whether they do it on their own or they do it through their autonomous and affiliated colleges. Some of the conferences we organized to sensitize in the zones about how it can be implemented. Current implementation of AEDP, I'm happy to share that from the July 25, it has started. 42 universities reported to us. These are the 12 domains in which apprenticeship has already made the beginning. And this semester, actually, students are in the industry, because as I said, first semester they have to be in the industry, so in the institute. So the July 25 semester they were in the institute, now they are in the industry. These are the numbers that 171 programs, and 171 programs of these 11, 13 disciplines, and around 8,000 students are actually have opted for apprenticeship embedded degree program. Based on our zonal conferences, the one feedback which we got is the difficult part to convince the parents to permit the students to go to apprenticeship. So when you start apprenticeship, this also you should figure out that somehow parents also be taken into consideration while registering students for AEDP program. These are out of those 46 universities, and 92 number is because one university has got multiple AEDP programs in different disciplines. 260 MOUs signed, 267, I am sharing because if somebody is keen, we will be able to even go in terms of number of institutions, the name of the institutions, details of the program, co-creation of curriculum, industry support. So you will already have some of the best practice created therein. Number of semesters, this was a question for us, that how many semester students are going. So general impression is that from 1 to 2 semester students have opted so far. Co-creation of curriculum in the industry, 32 universities have created the curriculum with the help of industry experts. One thing we are mandating is they should upload in the public domain. So 33 universities have uploaded the curriculum. Stipend varies in the range 2,400 to 18,000. And as I said, that there are two modes of getting stipend, both and the, in some cases, industry and or the institution put together. West Bengal, although the data we wanted to authenticate, but somehow there is some confusion about apprenticeship and internship also. So please look at that. There is a distinction between internship and apprenticeship. So this is the data from West Bengal. This is something which all of us should be familiar. This and the next slide, because it talks about how those 50% credit will come and how we can give that diversified learning experience to the learner. So I can be doing an economics program, but I can do n number of modules on artificial intelligence, machine learning, GST, economics, based on my area. So this table gives you that enabling ecosystem of having learning from diversified courses with 50% in the core in which degree is going to be awarded. Many of you may be familiar now, we can have 2 majors or we can have one major and n number of minors. This is the table which talks about how we should look at annual level of learning. And annual level of learning, our graduation starts from level 4.5 and the PhD is level 8. So each year student accumulates 40 credits, 30 hours for every credit, so 1200 hours of learning every year. And it also has an enabling feature that one can make an exit after 1 year, gets a certificate, come back within 7 years, complete another year, gets a diploma, then come back after diploma and complete the degree. So the learning which you have made, and if you come back within 7 years, that learning is not going to be wasted. In fact, it is going to be used. So this is something which enables us multi-entry, multi-exit in terms of accumulation of credits. And so you also need to look at, no university in fact is writing NCRF label when you are awarding a degree certificate also. On the ABC portal, in fact, sir, we are working that if a university has accorded degree and my 120 credits are in the ABC account, then those should be freeze to 0 because I have used those 120 credit for getting a degree. So we need to create that ecosystem by making use of this national credit framework and enabling feature through this. These are some of the areas in which you can look at short-term skill courses as NCRF permits to micro credentials, nano credentials, and some skilling courses as a part of academia. So in case of economics, you can have health economics, urban economics, some of the indicative areas you can build on this list. BA, BCom, BSc I have kept because they constitute 71% of the 4 crore learners in the higher education space. Similarly for BSc, this is something we are working with the SWAM plus IIT Madras. Just for your information, SWAM plus IIT Madras has all the employability based skill modules on their portal. So even you can submit your portal to SWAM plus and that will be assessed how we are working and how, if you submit your proposal, how that gets through. These are the 11 modules which UGC has validated. And once we validate, we say how many theory, how many practical, how many hours of practical, what credits will come at what level. So level indicates year in which this module is going to be embedded. 4.5 is first year of undergraduate, level 5 is second year of undergraduate, 5.5 is third year of undergraduate, 6 is the, means every year incremental of half in the level, 0.5 in the level. You have to submit your proposal to IIT Madras. IIT Madras has got program implementation committees. They look at the content part. Once that content gets vetted by SWAYAM Plus team, those proposals comes to us. Then UGC standing committee looks at the compliance to National Credit Framework and the National Higher Education Qualification Framework. And then you can see on the SWAYAM Plus website, you will see these 11 modules as UGC validated module. And then they will, it also has the assessment and the delivery part both put together. These are some of the numbers we took from IIT Madras. All these modules, you will see the learners have come. Third column talks about number of students who have opted. So if your institution course is there on the SWAYAM Plus, neither we come in picture nor SWAYAM Plus comes in picture. If I log in as a student on your course, then automatically SWAYAM Plus site takes this to your site. You actually implement your module from your site. You collect the fee, you deliver, you make assessment, and institutions make use of. Important thing is, you should look at the fourth column, number of universities from which students have registered. So these universities are actually giving creditization to these 11 modules, where either you can make use of these modules, or you can create your own module, and if they fit into the quality benchmark of SWAYAM Plus, you will see your name, your module name on the SWAYAM Plus site, which can be used by anybody in the world. So these are 11 modules. So last 2-3 slides is in terms, I'm going a little fast because I said I'll finish by 12:10. 2 reports I thought I will share because these are the recent reports and connect with all of us. Niti Aayog came out with revitalizing India's apprentice system. This report came in 26. It has given 20 action-oriented recommendations. It has also got a compendium of best practices in the skilling ecosystem, apprenticeship skilling ecosystem. 5 pillars they have identified: policy and system reforms, structural and regulatory, state and district level, industry and employer, apprenticeship, aspiration level mechanisms. This I have kept just to indicate that look at this table from 1950 of craftsmen, and they have also included UGC 2025 apprenticeship embedded degree program. So this is a part of the Niti Aayog document where they are actually also very keen. Recently also there was a meeting in terms of how we can make apprenticeship embedded degree program part of, or apprenticeship as part of all the degree programs in this country's higher education space. So this is the way apprenticeship has gone. These are the 5 pillars, and if you look at the state UT and the district level, it talks about district level committees to drive local apprenticeship. It also talks about the areas in which the apprenticeship can be done by mapping the institute in that district and the district level, either industries or the other offices where the student can carry out apprenticeship. This is the second last slide. This report has come in this month only, and a very interesting report, Reimagining Skilling for Viksit Bharat 2047. It has given 5 strategic pillars. Next slide will talk about how they are actually looking at whole skilling ecosystem. Is skill integration in schools, public-private partnership and private sector engagement, outcome-linked industry-backed apprenticeship for all, guidance and perception building. It has also given key system enablers. So this is a very detailed report, and purpose of sharing here is that this has come recently, talks about the ecosystem where we are also looking at finding solutions. Next slide is very interesting. Look at this slide. Actually, this report talks about that you should have an skilling ecosystem right at grade 9. So they are not saying that you talk about skilling at graduation level, where they are saying GEES, general employability and entrepreneurship skills. So they are talking about at grade 9-10, there will be 2 sets of schools. One will be the only general employment and entrepreneurship skills schools, multi-skill exposure, so a school will have an academic and different skill component. Then there will be a vocational schools and large vocational school which will be run by industries only, so largely governed by the industry ecosystem at 9th and 10th grade. When the student moves from 9th and 10th to 11th and 12th, then he will have both the options. He can follow an academic channel, he can follow a complete skilling ecosystem, and similarly is with the higher education space. And look at the upper two boundaries where they have covered. Look at this last one, and that formal education, informal education, employment, self-employment, and NEET. Not in education, not in employment, not in training. So they have looked at all ecosystem and how this ecosystem can be integrated, where we are looking at recognition of prior learning, we are looking at creditization of all learnings, informal learning as well as formal learning. So this is a complete diagram which talks about how we should have an, that's why they have called as reimagining skilling ecosystem for Viksit Bharat 2047. So this is, I thought this has come this month only, I think last week. So the concluding slide from my side is that if we really want to implement NEP, we need to implement in a mission mode and in a closed loop. Closed loop is that we implement an initiative, we look at the outcome, whether desired outcomes have come or not, give the feedback to the input, and then work on the processes to attain the desired output. Continuous quality improvement cycles at various stages of the initiative we need to put into place. We need to follow an approach that this cannot be done, change to how this can be done. Thrust areas, we are working on that. For example, in a state of West Bengal, can we make a cluster of universities? If we have identified 10 domains, can we have a set of universities working on domain 1 and set of universities working on domain 2, and so that we have clusters with a very focused approach there, so that some tangible outcomes can be shown in each of the disciplines. And I believe personally that if the change has to happen, then it should happen where the higher education institutions and the leadership therein act as a change leaders. And last from my side is, knowing is not enough. If we know, we must apply. Similarly, willing is not enough, we must do. Thank you very much for the patient hearing. These are some of the email addresses. Since my presentation will be here, anybody wants to connect for the Utsaha portal related challenges, academic bank of credit related challenges, and anything about NEP, these are the email addresses. Thank you very much. And as decided, I think we will take question answer session during the open house. So with the permission, I may take the liberty to invite Alok sir and
now I have the pleasure of inviting Professor Alok Kumar Rai, Director, Indian Institute of Management, Kolkata, together with Dr. Ramanand, Director, CPRG, to lead this session. Felicitation for you. I would request our team members to felicitate Professor Rai. Honorable Director, IIM, Kolkata. Now the stage is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, most respected Professor Jagdish Kumar ji, former chairman of UGC and chairman of NEP Implementation Committee of Government of India, who also happens to be the chairman of Board of Governors of Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. Madam Vanjari, Honorable Vice Chancellor of NEPA, Delhi, the fellow colleagues, chancellors, vice chancellors from the state of West Bengal, all the officials of University Grants Commission and West Bengal State Higher Education Department, and my very dear friend Sri Ramananji, who accompanies me on the stage. I was wondering, for last over a year I'm out of the university system, but I have been Vice Chancellor of University of Lucknow for 2 consecutive terms, and I also happen to lead several other categories of universities during the course of that stay, which is a language university, a technical university, affiliating university, and currently also I hold an additional charge of Vice Chancellor for deemed university in Andaman and Nicobar Island. Now, what I was wondering, I was not aware of the latest developments that are taking place in national education policy domain, which I could come to know only after listening, watching the presentation of Avichal ji. And I thought he cannot be confined only with a session, rather he needs at least 1 full day workshop on this. That was too exhaustive. What I'll share in my presentation is only on the implementation part, because I very proudly say that University of Lucknow was the first university to have implemented national education policy in letter and spirit to whatever that was possible within the domain of a university. Why I say it was the first? Because it started implementing it from the academic session 2020-21 only. It was on 29 July 2020 that the policy was launched by Honorable Prime Minister, and because of COVID the session was a little delayed, so we could get the time to implement. Otherwise also during the discussion time, majority of the policy initiatives were already in the public domain. So I'll largely speak on the implementation part of it. So of course I won't go into these specifics. So first is about the academic framework upgradation. When we started, I mean from 2021 we implemented it in postgraduate program, and from 21-22 we implemented it in undergraduate program. So I'll first go with the undergraduate program initiatives. It was from clause 11.9 on page 37 of the draft that's talked about flexible entry and exit, and I must share that in the academic year 2021 convocation, that is 2020-21, in the academic session convocation of 21, 2 students, one from biochemistry and one from management, they were given postgraduate diploma. So this was a flexible exit that we had initiated, and these are all, this can be easily done within the framework of the university's academic council and executive councils. So interdepartmental and intra-departmental credit transfer schemes, internship, major and minor research projects, vocational and co-curricular courses. I'll share in the subsequent slide the details and how these credits have been placed. Provision of MOOCs, multidisciplinarity and integration with the doctoral research program. These were the specific clauses and the respective page number on which these provisions are laid, which can easily be read, provided for, get approval from academic council and executive council, and subsequently be implemented. So this is the broad framework that I want to draw your attention to. So in first semester of 4-year undergraduate program, it is semester 1. Now we can have 2 major, I mean this is what we used, so I'm only sharing what has already been implemented. So major 1, major A and major B, each had paper 1 and paper 2 of 4 credit each. Similarly, for major B, it is paper 1 and paper 2, 4 credit each, and one could be minor. Now, what can be done is this minor can even be from a neighboring or other faculty. So, this provides for the provision for greater variability of learning. Now, this was of 2 credit, and for first semester, it is co-curricular of 2 credit, total amounting to be 20 credit. So, this was semester 1, and similarly for paper 3 and 4 for majors 1 and 2, the another paper from minor subject of credit 2, and in the second semester, first semester is co-curricular activity, second semester is vocational. Now, we also, of course, we all are in academics, so we differentiate both. Vocational is largely skill based learning, and co-curricular is ability enhancing learning. So, 2 credits each amounting to 20 credits. So, after first year, one can always get certificate. So, in the last column, what is written is that student may obtain certificate and leave. Similarly, in semester 3 and 4, the same first is repeated, and after that one can take diploma and leave. In year 3rd, now gradually this minor goes away. So, why is it minor? A, the relative credit weight of that minor subject is less, and then in 3rd year, that is at the graduation level, that does not remain. Rather, 2 major subject remains, with of course elective is now introduced. And if you could notice, in your major A, here in semester 6, there is additional 4 credit that has been awarded to your major A, that is first major. This is the major that you are going to proceed for your 4th year as well. So, it is for semester 5, it was 4 credit each for major A and major B, and 4 credit for internship or term paper or minor project, as depends on the subject and the liking of the student and also the ability of the institute. In semester 6, this 4 credit, additional 4 credit that was in internship, term paper, minor project, etc., gets clubbed with your major 1. So, now major 1 gets 12 credit, major 2, which is subject 2, gets less 4 credit less vis-a-vis major 1. And then after this, one can always obtain a graduation degree. And if you proceed for the 4th year, I mean the student intends to proceed for the 4th year, here again there are 2 provisions as very well elaborated by Avichalji, was that of course if you get with 75% plus and then without 75% plus. So, here in 7th semester you get 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So, 20 credits only for one major. So, this is your specialization, which you can subsequently after 8th semester may directly take it for your doctoral research program as well. And for semester 8, it is one of course exclusive 4 credit course on research methodology, and then one on term paper, and 12 credit equal to 3 papers is for major research project or dissertation, which may act as a precursor for your subsequent research initiatives. So, with this one can get graduation honors with research if it is 75% plus, otherwise graduation with research. What we had introduced one non-credited course was, of course, and this was from the year 2020, was a specific paper on Rashtra Gaurav. So, to let the people know about the strengths of the country, and this is very important to appreciate the students about the strengths that the country and or the region possess. We at Indian Institute of Management Calcutta also has taken an initiative of localization of an international institution by not just apprising people who are coming, but also enable them to appreciate. So if you come to IIM Calcutta campus, and I invite you all, do come. So at the gate you will listen to Ravindra Sangeet, which is played 24/7. You will see the local art and craft being reflected in all small and large things. The buildings are going to be named after the national heroes, largely from West Bengal. And we have recently introduced Bangla also as an optional language, because we have been teaching international language. So Bangla also is a language that is formally taught to these students. So this was about Rashtra Gaurav, which was non-credited. Then something that was started from the year academic year 2020, the provisions were elaborated on clause 11.10, page 38. Again, that we had discussed all the specific things. Here we divided for PG electives into two categories. One was freezed elective, second was open elective. Now freezed electives are some of the electives that necessarily are to be taught for the student. If say you study economics, so you essentially need to know public finance. But if you want, say specifically commercial banks, so this could be optional. You may study development bank, you may study DFIs, you may study any other thing. So there might be open electives. So among financial institutions, say there are 5 categories of financial institutions, so you may elect one. But if you need to know, of course, the public finance, so even within that electives, we had introduced freezed and open electives. So this was the course credit distribution system, which was, so of course you do, this was for 2 years postgraduate program. So here it was for 5 core courses, out of which 4 courses were carrying 4 credits. 1 course was carrying 2 credit and 1 was for intra-departmental credit transfer. So you are pursuing say economics, but at the same time you also need to study constitution. You feel like studying constitution or maybe a language which is from within the faculty but not from the same department. So it was intra-departmental, and in the subsequent semester it was for course 6, 7, 8 and 9. These were 4 credits. 10th was 2 credit, and last was, I mean, in the subsequent, I mean second semester, it was interdepartmental. So the student is allowed to take a course from any other faculty. So maybe in economics, if you want to study some, say, music, or larger universities have this provision. So you can have one small course on this. So psychology is something students are so fond of. So science student also want to feel like, I mean, having studying psychology, maybe introduction to psychology or some psychometric tests, or other science students also are so fond of economic papers. So there might be one course that is added as interdepartmental, which is largely inter-faculty course. And in 3rd semester, there were 3 courses of 4 credit. Then for 4th and 5th, there were 2 sets of electives. As I said, one was freezed elective, another was open elective. So freezed elective was carrying 4 credit and open elective was carrying 2 credits. And then field work or internship. Normally this internship, what we used to provide is during summer vacation, so that the student is not supposed to go back to their place. Instead, they study during this, and the credit, of course, because we have to distribute it within 20 only. So credit may appear to be relatively less as compared to the labor that they put in, but it is largely aimed at infusing knowledge and enhancing skill rather than this credit emphasis. And last was this here, dissertation was carrying 8 credit. This was enabling student to concentrate more on. Then this 1 year postgraduate program was also initiated, though it was supposed to be, because in 2021-22 we had initiated undergraduate program, so these students were coming out only in 2025. So from 2025 this provision was made to these, was offered to the students, so that they can, if they want to take up this, they can take up 1 year master's program. Of course the ingredients were or the specificities were something that was already discussed. So here in semester 1 there are 3 core courses. One, as I said, freezed elective, another is open elective, and one intra-departmental credit transfer provision. And in the other semester, because research emphasis has already been there in their 4th year, that is semester 7 and 8. So this student is coming, if you take this entire education span, this is going to come as part of the extension of what the student has already done in the first 4 years. So this is the 5th year for the student. So in that continuation, this interdepartmental and intradepartmental exposure has been provided for. Then, as per clause 24.1 to 24.5, online education has been promoted, and clause 24 also talked about the conception of digital university and training the teachers as digital teachers. So this, I mean, this I can offer, I have experimented it and it has been fruitful as well, that learning management system we largely either we buy or we take those that are freely available. Now this is not a rocket science. I mean, developing a learning management system on our own is not a rocket science. It can easily be done. So what we did it during COVID time. We developed our own learning management system, named it SLATE, Strategic Learning Application for Transformative Education. It also helped us in protecting the copyright things, that is our faculty which are generating the copyright content, that were preserved. And subsequently what we did was, of late we also shared this at a very minimal cost to our affiliate colleges first, and that acted as a source of revenue for the institution as well, because during COVID they all had to were needing this. So this was one of the offering that we had developed. Then video lectures etc. have been developed. Initially, of course, during COVID it was difficult, so people used to do it. It was a new transformative thing that was taking place through their own mobile phones, and subsequently these video labs were developed. Students were allotted slot. Initially we shared with some of the other universities and colleges who have had these digital studios, where teachers, faculty used to go, get the lecture recorded on the condition of that you will allow the institution to upload it for internal consumption, I mean for the students viewing. And subsequently we leveraged it when we started our own online education. So then it was, because async and synchronous and asynchronous, both the courses, there the faculty, this lecture can be used as means of teaching, and the credit of course goes to them. So then under clause 11.3 and 11.4 of National Education Policy 2020, a lot of occupation centric learning programs have also been introduced. Several skill development courses and programs have been, as I said, there were co-curricular and vocational courses that were introduced. So Lucknow University, the jurisdiction, as certainly would be happening here also, the jurisdiction was ranging from Raebareli to Lakhimpur Kheri. Now Raebareli has rail coach factory, some coal business and other things. Hardoi on the contrary is a farm belt which is into potato and rice. And if you go up till Lakhimpur, it is a sugarcane belt, very strong, very strong. Lot of sugar mills are there. Why I am sharing is because this was left by the university onto the colleges to develop their own vocational courses suiting to the local requirement of the region. So if a college from Lakhimpur Kheri wants to start some course on, say, sugarcane industry or sugar industry, on the contrary, if because of the factories available in Raebareli, if entrepreneurship is something that they want to start something from, that was enabled. So college faculties were invited. In the frame, 4-unit frame, they were motivated to develop their own course. Initially the problem was that where to find the textbooks, because if you experiment with new courses, it becomes difficult. So because the course is now available to all the university affiliate colleges. So if something is introduced in Raebareli and if a college or a student somewhere in Lakhimpur Kheri wants to take this, so where to get the content? That was the initial problem that we were confronted with, and later we created a cluster of faculty members who were motivated to write their books, and subsequently it worked well. So we started with 13 course each in co-curricular and vocational in the first year, and in 2025 when I had left there, we had roughly 72 in vocational and 63 in co-curricular. So this is how the number, and this is probably what the very intent of inviting and motivating people to share something, some knowledge, so that their livelihood can be strengthened. Then Indian knowledge system based programs also were introduced, not as a program but as specific certificate programs separately, which was, of course, naturopathy was one, Garbh Sanskar was one, and that worked very well. I'm telling you, many people from different areas of the country, they started coming, especially the people who were working in the hospitals, maternity hospitals. They opted a lot in this program. Then there was student support system strengthening. So there were different clauses and provisions that were made available in the National Education Policy 2020 draft, and based on that several, so there are certain classifications that I'm sharing. One is, of course, the mentoring, a student OPD. So our pupils day, it is not doctors OPD, it's students, our pupils day scheme was introduced, and 1 hour by all the respective head of department, they were supposed to meet all the any student who want to meet them, and they had to maintain something. So students were notified, they were all supposed to meet from 4 to 5 in the evening. Similarly, there was tree scheme and Samvardhan scheme. I'm not going into the details of all these would probably be available on the website of the university. Then there was Earn While Learn scheme in sync with clause 12.4. It was a kind of Karma Yogi scheme. Then different schemes were adopted, initiated. One was a Shodh Medha scholarship, considering the limitation, financial limitation. So we first thought of providing financial support to female research scholars at the first go. So this was a Shodh Medha scholarship exclusively for female research scholars. So we used to invite application. There was a committee constituted. They would interview, because we could not afford to give find more than 10 students to fund. And gradually we were inviting funds from society also. That was another scheme that was introduced as Adopt a Brain, Arpan scheme. So a lot of people from the city were invited, including the faculty members who wanted to donate something for the education. So they were invited for this Adopt a Brain scheme. Then there was wellness and counseling. So there was a Happy Thinking Lab. This was established. As I said, all the head of departments were introduced, were asked to meet students. Similarly, there was a scheme of Coffee with VC, where students were invited on a weekend to meet over coffee, and where they were encouraged to share anything and everything that they want, that they can share for the greater good of the institution. And this was in sync with the clause 12.5, page 38 of NEP draft. And then there are few cells that are, I believe, all the institutions certainly have. Health and hygiene of female students, again in sync with the NEP provisions. So hemoglobin and health checkup camps, that was continuously done, especially for female students. And then sanitary napkin vending machines and incinerators in all the girls' hostels and other female toilets were installed. Then research promotion and strengthening. So in sync with clause 9.3 of NEP, a boost scheme, that is faculty research initiative program, was introduced, which was building opportunities for regional and sustainable thinking. So it was one, incentivization policy, second was a scheme for seed capital for the faculty, and then there was a best research paper award. And I must share that even the faculty who were working as emeritus professor, they used to contest very strongly that I should get this. So this is one huge thing which keeps a faculty alive, the recognition among the peers, which is very important. So these schemes also paid well, and there were quartile excel scheme where different monetization schemes were there. Shodh Medha scholarship I have already talked about. Then there was enhancing research connect among disciplines. This was in sync with clause 11.12 and 17.4 of NEP draft, where such departments and faculty were created where different streams can come together, and this is the one of the biggest strength of multidisciplinary university, where different people may come together to share their knowledge and create newer knowledge. So one, we had established a faculty of aesthetics and Shav philosophy. Now this was a faculty that has had contributions from philosophy, from religion, from Sanskrit, and different other disciplines, that ancient history, that had come together to develop this faculty. Similarly, a faculty of yoga and alternative medicine and several other institutes and centers were developed to promote this. Because I myself come from Banaras Hindu University, which is one of the largest multidisciplinary university in the country. And the time when I got appointed as Vice Chancellor, my research was, and this was possible only in case of an institution like BHU, where I was working on, my area is customer relationship management. So for testing, for research purpose, we normally rely on statistical tools. So you develop questionnaire, you register statistical responses, you put it on statistical tools, and then you arrive at certain values. There are enormous limitations. So in order to address that limitation, second stage was that information technology tools were developed by myself, and first quantification, so formulation of these constructs. Next step was building algorithm for that. And one thing when I left that was I was working on, we have in IIT a department of biochemical engineering, and in our Institute of Medical Sciences we have good number of people into that, into pharmaceutics and pharmaceutical engineering. So there I was working on that, can we work on registering the responses not through these questionnaires but through bioscience measures, like for example your sweat, your blood pressure, your pulse rate, your pupil contraction dilation, temperature. These are small, and there are instruments available where you need not go for all these separate registrations. So there are machines available on which even if you put your hand, you can easily find out all these biosymptoms. These biosymptoms may lead to these registrations. So pre-exposure of the service and post-exposure of the service, both can be there. Now these are not the, they do not suffer with the biases that we normally find in case of statistical surveys. Then creating conducive research ecosystem, as I said, a new research policy in sync with the provisions that are clause 11.99 and 11.12 they have provided for. So we established a research cell and research collaboration through MOUs among different institutions who were excelling in that. Internationalization, it was there in the thrust area of the national education policy and of Government of India as well. So there is a separate office that is supposed to be established in all the universities, Office of International Affairs, and Study in India program also, registering through Study in India program can also be leveraged. And I must say that the figure with regard to internationalization had been from when I had joined, there were 55 applications we received, and the year I left, that is last year, we had 3,200 applications, the highest in the entire North India. So this can strategically be leveraged. This also acts as a very important source of revenue, especially for government universities, which normally are plagued with the financial crunch. There, this acts as an important source of revenue as well. So, various collaborative initiatives could also be undertaken by introducing visiting scholarship or researcher, encouraging international students seeking partial credit, and researcher in residence program. Twinning, joint and dual degree programs also were introduced in conformance with this. So there were several initiatives. What I'm trying to say in this entire communication is that there are ways and means that are there within the framework of the university itself, where the provisions of national education policy can be implemented, and as has been said at various occasions, that this can easily be implemented without even seeking any external support, by providing a formal methodical system, taking it to regulatory bodies, getting approval, implementing it, and at the same time opening constant channel of communication to address the issues. Because I remember in one of the presentation, I went to Tamil Nadu, long ago, few years ago, and one of the vice chancellor told me, if at all, because government was not so far for implementing that, and a honorable vice chancellor said, why should government not implement it through law? Arey bhai, isme what will law do? These are specific provisions of the educational institution. You only have to change, we only have to change the credit system. What has law to do with this? This is not some legal draft. These are few provisions to make the life of a student simpler, more friendly, and the only difference as a marketing student and as a student of customer relationship, I feel that the biggest and the most distinctive feature is that now the ball is in the court of the student. So instead of framing policy by the people who are sitting on this side of the table, has got shifted to student side. Let them decide what do they want to study, till when do they want to study, and we largely act as a facilitator, so that we can provide them financial support, emotional support, mental support, and so on. So this is what the larger framework of implementation of national education policy has been, and I have shared my experiences. I'm open for queries. Especially in undergraduate program, it is a little more complex, which lies with the colleges, but is decided by the university. Now this is the anomaly. This is something that has got to be addressed, because we as university and academic council is largely dominated by the university faculty. It is to be decided by the university and to be implemented by the colleges. So if you have some queries, I'm ready to address. If not here, you can think of, I'm always available. So I can be made available for any kind of query that may come in. Thank you very much for providing me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rai. Thank you, Dr. Kapoor. Thank you, Dr. Ramanand. Now, you have shown us the various initiatives that UGC has taken and also the status of West Bengal with respect to all those initiatives. You have talked about the very pertinent questions of credit distribution, credit mapping, talked about the UTSA portal, the AEDP program, the 11 modules that UGC has validated for SWAYAM Plus scheme. We have learnt about the vocational curriculum and credit distribution in a 4-year curriculum, the best practices of IIM, and elaborate understanding about how credits can be mapped across the 8 semesters. So now we will open the floor for questions, but since Professor Rai has to leave, we have very limited time and we will take just 2 questions for him. So please, if you want to ask some questions, only 2 questions, raise your hands please. Professor Kollol Pal is here, Vice Chancellor, Kolani University. Sir.
Hello, sir.
Thank you for enlightening us, both our Joint Secretary and Professor Rai. I just want to have more elaboration on, this AEDP program. Can you just cite an example, like, so how does it work with, say, subject like English or mathematics? AEDP program, right?
AEDP, Joint Secretary साहब आप बताइए. This, huh? अच्छा, it will be taken in during open house.
Thank you very much.
Next question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
This is Nilanjan Mitra, Head of the Department of School of Management, Swami Vivekananda University. We are facing a little bit problem while we are implementing 1-year PG program for our MBA graduates. See, if a student has completed 4-year UG program, suppose in psychology, whether that student may be eligible for the 1-year PG program or not. This is my first question. And the second question is, if he or she is eligible, then a student who has completed 4-year programs in BBA and a person 4-year completed in psychology, if they both are eligible in one boat of 1-year PG program, then how we can make it feasible? Because in the final year, that is the consecutive the 7th and 8th semester, they have the specializations papers. And once again, if we start from the very beginning of the management courses, that will be a little bit problem.
See, it's very important question and interesting as well. Why it is important and interesting both is because there are certain programs that did not fall within the purview of UGC exclusively only. So these were under AICT. 1-year master's program in MBA is still not there. Now, it's still not there, nowhere in the country. It has not been initiated, not because there was 4+1 thing was acting as a barrier, but because AICT was not approving this. This has happened, this came during the discussion of Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adeshthan bill while the drafting was going on. So, till now, this is nowhere, this provision is not there. Though as I must also share that we run a 1-year executive program. But here, this 1 year is nothing but compressing 2 years program into 1 year. So the total number of hours, there is not much of a difference. B, we try to compensate it by putting a caveat that minimum 5 years of work-ex is important. So majority of the issues are addressed there. Otherwise, the total number of courses that are taught in 2-year master's program and the total number of courses that are taught in 1-year master's program are same. So here, like 3 term in 1 year and 3 term in 2nd year. That is what the 2-year management program in IIMs, like in our system, we have 4 semesters. So say 6 courses each semester, total amounting to 24, right? Basic में अभी elective के उसमें we are not going into 24. So this 1 year, if you are able to teach all these 24 in 1 year, this is what we are doing at IIM. So the total number of courses are not being compromised. The total number of hours also are not much. The only thing is because we are adding 5 years work ex, so summer internship and dissertation etc. are not part of it.
But sir,
so this abhi, because it falls within the purview of AICT, and AICT has not issued any approval for 1 year MBA program. So for MBA it is not working. But for other programs, if you have any query, you can please.
but sir,
Yeah, please.
hello, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Sir, again, the problem is if AICT is not approving that, and for the MBA
Till now.
till now, yeah, and if the MBA is 4 plus 2,
Yeah.
4 plus 2, then how can we encourage our students for pursuing the 4th year? Because they can exit in the 3rd year and they can pursue the degree.
That is a problem for BBA programs.
Right,
that is
sir.
only the problem for BBA programs. But for 4-year, any other program like science, arts, commerce, there is not a program. Even for BBA, if you could remember, AICT has introduced this 4-year BBA. They have recently got approval, awarded approval about 2-3 years back. 2 years back probably. So that lot which is going to come after 4 years is certainly going to be exposed in this new VBSA bill, which is going to account for this 1-year program. But otherwise also, in say for example agriculture or engineering, pharmacy, these are all 4-year programs. All these students have been coming to pursue your MBA program, isn't it? So 4 plus 2 MBA is there.
So another thing is contradicting, that is recently we have seen, and you have shared that in the University of Delhi they have implemented if a student they have secured 7.5 CGPA in the 4th year with the honors plus research category, they will directly go to the PhD program.
Yes.
So again here is a contradiction. So what about the PG programs?
So where is the contradiction? They can go directly to pursue PhD. Where is the contradiction?
The contradiction is most of the students will now, they will not opt for the PG programs.
So why at all? If they intend to pursue PhD, why at all do they need to pursue PG?
If they will get 7.5 CGPA, then
So
those who are below 7.5.
So why at all? This provision is only for the student who wants to skip this PG and take a PhD.
Okay, sir.
So where is the contradiction? No contradiction.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. This is Ranojit Sarkar. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Ranojit Sarkar from Newton University, sir. Sir, you talked about major courses. Like say for course 1, it is 4 credits. Sir, if it is the science course, many times we need to provide theory plus practical. Sir, does it include the 4 credits theory plus practical?
Yes. So 2 class of practical is equal to 1 credit.
Yes,
1
sir.
class, right?
Yes, sir.
So 1 hour theory class and 2 hour practical class is equated. So if it is a 4 credit, so we can have, depending on the subject of course, so 4 credit means it could be 2 class of theory and 4 hours of practical, or 3 class of theory or 2 class of practical.
Okay,
now
sir.
say mathematics practical and botany practical will be different.
Will be different. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, can it be like, sir, say 3 plus 2? Means for a major course, can we allot 5 credits from 3 plus 2?
See, it is for the academic council to take a decision. This is what we have done.
Okay.
So as academic institution and as academician, we are ready, we are free to take apply our wisdom and take a decision in the larger interest of our student.
Okay. Sir, one more clarification, sir, please. Sir, per year, it is 40 credits. Per semester, it is 20 credits.
20 credits.
Sir, sometimes credits, can it be like, sir, 23 or 24 for a semester?
I believe.
Is it possible?
Honorable UGC Chancellor, Chairman sir will be probably taking up such questions.
And
at
sometimes,
the
sir,
end.
also we
I
have-
believe these are minimum. I believe these are
Yes, sir.
minimum. Like what we did, in 2020 when we initiated, till then UGC's 20 semester guideline was not there. So when we started with 24 credit. So in our case it was coming out to be 96 credit. But when UGC 3 years later, in 2023 probably, they came up with this 20 credit semester. So we subsequently changed it.
So sometimes also we have seen in a particular year, in one semester the credit is below 20, like say 18, and in another semester it says 24. Is it allowed? Means
I don't know.
Below 20, is it allowed?
Respected audience, we will have an interactive session later. We are already running out of time,
thank you, sir. Thank
we
you.
know that you don't want to leave Professor Rai.
Regulator, no, that is, I mean, questions are more important. But then what is important is, these are what I shared was the experience of a university that had implemented, largely to impart confidence that without any legal provisioning and requirements, an institution can, in the larger interest of the student. What regulator will allow, this is based on our understanding. So if regulator says, "Bhaiya 20 credits se niche don't go please." So whether 18 and 22 will work, it is for them to take a call at and allow. Maybe हमारे student का degree फंस गया तो what will I do? So I'll better compromise with कि भाई 20 plus 20.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, we need to close this session, sir.
Binay Chaube. Just one small question, madam.
But this is the last question. I request the audience, please, we will have an open session.
Because the point which you raised, it is connected with that only. So, myself, Binay Chaube, I am from the Department of Botany, University of Calcutta. Sir, whatever structures we have seen, particularly with respect to the credit hours and all those things, University of Calcutta and most of the universities in Bengal, they have understood that very well. So there is no problem with that. I am sure that our team is going to implement that very well. But the last time which you said, that it is designed by the university and implemented by the colleges. So there, the major problem lies over there, which I find missing most of the times. In most of the lectures, I find that missing. Because what happens that all these structures which you are showing in the letter and spirit, if you want to implement the NEP 2020, the major workforce is in the colleges. And as you said, that you are also, your background is from the university, that implementation is at the college level, and for those first 4 years at the college level, and the situation in the colleges is far from any kind of satisfaction. So what is your input on that? And how do you suggest to solve it? Because I know that the university can take care of the NEP 2020 on its own. Absolutely fine.
Yes.
There's no problem. Because we have a very strong team.
Now let me respond to what you said.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
So one thing that you said about resources and availability of infrastructure and otherwise resources, for them we have Vinod Kumarji. He will take care of all these questions and the issues that that lie with with this. Now one thing is important is that it is true, based on my own experience I'm sharing, that academic council is the highest body to decide on the academic framework, right? Which is largely represented by university faculty. Of course, some college teacher representation must also be there. Now, if this body decides, and you have to take a degree of the university, so you'll have to abide by all the rules that the university is framing. Okay. Now, in this case, matching resources. Like for example, I'll tell you, there are n number of issues. You just talked about one. I'll tell you, 3-year UG became 4-year UG, and not just 4-year UG, but 3 plus 1 plus 1 year UG. Why? Because 3-year plus 1 year, BSc, I mean UG with research, UG honors with research for those who have 7.5 CGPA plus. You need extra classroom, you need extra faculty, you need extra time. Now, there are several such issues that one will be confronted with. We started co-curricular and vocational. Ideally, we should have had, because number of papers because of elective and that, new teachers were supposed to be added. We cannot as a university add that. New labs, if we genuinely want to infuse this. And here comes the role of AEDP in case of this vocational and co-curricular thing, where industry and society has to come closer to the institution in building, in transferring all these informations. But with regard to the resources of the colleges, he is the right person. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Sir, one more question. Sir,
As long as organizers allow.
I'm Shanmay Mullik from University of North Bengal Department of Management. Sir, as AICT has not mentioned considering the one-year MBA, so but in the lateral entry process has been mentioned in the handbook for MBA in lateral entry.
I mean second year.
In second year. So can we consider that also for one-year MBA?
You can. It is for your academic council to take a decision on that.
Okay, sir.
But you know what we did at our university, what we did was we framed a guideline for lateral entry. It was largely prevalent in case of UG because among the state of Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow University was a little higher up, and say it was an easy way. Second year you take admission first year in some college or some other university, and in second year or third year you come. So you want to take admission to Delhi University, you do not qualify in first year, you come in second year. So it is applicable only on the vacant seat because you cannot increase the total number of sanctioned seat. Seat is sanctioned by the executive council. So total number of seat is 60. If you have one vacancy, now how this one vacancy is to be filled? So we introduced that on our own admission portal, we'll show this one and we'll take the student only from an institution which is matching with our NAC grading. So this is what we lay our own condition. So the university can always lay the condition for the students who can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Rai. We have now arranged for lunch for everyone. We will request our respective dignitaries to join us for lunch in the hall 4. For everyone else, lunch has been arranged at the respective location where you had breakfast. We will come back sharply by 1:45 p.m. to start the third session. Thank you, everyone.